last presidential debate, I didn't hear anything for the Republican response to Obamacare and how they're going to deal with the insurance, health care, and the pharmaceutical cartel.
And what's your first name? Pardon? What's your first name?
Tom.
Tom, thanks. Well, you know, we got another presidential debate coming up 2 weeks from Wednesday, so stay tuned. Fox Business is hosting it, so I'm hoping we get a little bit more into some of these economic questions than we did last time. Because frankly, everywhere I go, I hear people talking about the economy. American families are struggling. But also at a diner today, I heard people talking about the cost of health care. I mean, first, let's stipulate, Obamacare is a failure. Okay. I mean, insurance premiums in this country have doubled since Obamacare. Remember, the promise was your insurance premiums will go down, you keep your doctor if you want to, you keep your health insurance. None of those things were true. Now, we ended the Obamacare tax, essentially the mandate. But one of my proposals is what I'd like to do is take all that Obamacare funding in Washington and block grant it back to the states. I'd like to let Iowa use those resources to innovate, to help companies like Succup and families have lower cost health insurance and better health care. I mean, I know Succup just established a clinic here on the grounds. And for some incomprehensible reason, I heard that the IRS is actually kind of penalizing health savings accounts. We're going to talk more about that in the future, because I'm a big champion of health savings accounts. I tend to believe consumer-directed health care that gives people an incentive to make better choices in your own health care, get a regular checkup, maybe consider losing a few pounds, which I could use, quit smoking, all the kind of things you have incentives to do through consumer-directed health care. Number one, it improves people's lives. You want to lower the cost of health care in America, encourage a healthier America, which is what that whole approach has. We innovated in Indiana in Medicaid with health savings accounts, and I'm incredibly proud of it. And so for me, that's the key is we really are faced with a major choice in Washington, and that is whether we're going to go with Obamacare or ultimately a single-payer type system, which is what Bernie Sanders' vision is, and I think many liberals in Washington continue to drive and pine for that, or whether we're going to build our solutions in healthcare on a free market economy and on private health insurance. And I think there's ways to do that where you encourage portability, transparency, you create greater visibility for people in the healthcare system so that you can, as you're making a decision about healthcare treatment, you can have information available for what the cost is of those various procedures. So for me, it's all about equipping the American people, as health savings accounts do, to be healthcare consumers and not just on the receiving end of healthcare, if that makes any sense to you at all. In terms of the cost of medicines, I think encouraging our pharmaceutical companies to continue to expand discounts that are currently available for people that struggle with the cost of medicines is important. I am very skeptical of price controls generally. I mean, you and I look to be pretty close to the same age. At least you have the correct color hair for our age. You remember price controls with gasoline back in the 70s? You know, price controls invariably create scarcity. And the Biden administration recently announced what amounts to price controls on about 10 different medications. I'm concerned about that because, quite frankly, I think it would create greater scarcity, and also it would impact research and development. I mean, we have the greatest pharmaceutical companies in the world that have created life-saving medicines and do that literally around the clock. But I think ensuring that people have the kind of healthcare coverage that allows them to have access to the medicines that they need, and that people who struggle with the cost of that have access to discounts, and the rest is a key part of the way forward. But that's my general philosophy.